I'm Lisa, one of your friendly neighborhood librarians from the Johnson City Public Library, and this is Ask a Librarian, a weekly web series where you ask questions and I try to answer them. Chances are if you asked it, other people have too, so go ahead and send your questions to us at the web address listed below, and I'll do my best every week to give you the answer. So this week's question is one that several of you have been asking. It is how to access our ebook and audiobook content, and also how to get a digital card. So if you haven't used our reads collection before, you guys are in for a treat because it is also our website of the week. Tennessee Reads stands for Regional Ebook and Audiobook Download System. It's a resource that the state of Tennessee provides, and then we add additional content for our patrons. So you really will want to get that full library card at some time to take advantage of that additional content. But as a temporary measure during this time, it is available to you to get an instant digital card. I believe until June 30th at this point is the end date on that one. So as long as you've got a mobile phone, if you don't have a library card, you're not out of luck. You can still download and borrow ebooks and audiobooks. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. The first place to start is you're going to go to our website, jcpl.org. And from our website, once it comes up here, I'm going to hover over children, teens, and adults. There are 3 portal levels in Reads. There are ebooks for kids, ebooks for teens, and then the main collection. So it's nice to have those filtering options. If you do have a teen or a younger child at home, you can make sure the content they're seeing is age appropriate. But today I'm going to show you the main collection. So I'll click on ebooks. And you should get this pop-up message. No library card, no problem. If you do have a JCPL library card or really any library card in the state of Tennessee, you can click on Already Have a Card, sign in, and it'll prompt you with your home library, the library card, and you can just jump right in and start using Reads. But what we're going to do today is sign up for an instant digital card since we maybe don't have a library card yet. So I'm going to click on that. And this will tell you a little bit more about the Instant Digital Card program. It is asking for a mobile phone number. So I'm going to type one in here. And send verification code. And then I will check my phone. There should be a message that comes through. And then I just need to type that verification code in here. And click verify. And now I can use Reads. I can borrow up to 15 titles, like I said, for up to 21 days at a time. So it's a really great resource to have. So looking at Reads, it might feel a little overwhelming at first. There are a lot of ways to help narrow it down. So if you have a specific title or author in mind, you can always do a search and type in here, what you're looking for. So say you're looking for Harry Potter. And you're going to have all the different titles available here. Sometimes you'll get some interesting things popping in. But one nice thing is, as you're looking through this, you'll notice some of these say available and some say waitlist at the top. So the titles that are available, you can borrow right away. And the titles that say waitlist, there are copies in the system that aren't yet available for you to download, but we have a hold list option, so you can just place a hold for that. Another thing down here to note is ebook versus audiobook, the little headphone icon versus the open book. So if you prefer listening to audiobooks, keep an eye out for those audiobooks, and ebooks, look for the open book. You can also use these left side filters to isolate by, say, if you really do just want, Kindle books or EPUB books, you can just click on that to limit down the availability specifically to, the platform of your choice. Some people do prefer the Kindle app. Some people will use one of the other apps that I'm going to talk about today as well. But that gives you some options there. And once you do borrow a book, I'm going to go ahead and borrow Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone here. And see where it says borrow for 14 days, it's going to default to that, but you have the option to change that to longer, to 21 days or shorter if you know you're going to get through it pretty quickly. One of the great things about Reads is you don't have to worry about turning in your book. It automatically returns itself when it expires, but it also means that renewals are a little different too. So if you do need a little bit longer on a book that you've borrowed, basically, especially if it's a book that's very popular, placing a hold on it, it'll place a hold on it again. So you'll go back into that hold queue. So just keep that in mind as you're borrowing Reads content. I'm going to go ahead and click the borrow button here. And it gives you the option to read now with Kindle, which we talked about. It also gives you the due date. So keep that in mind. Download the book or read in browser. For now, I'm not going to do anything with it because I'm going to show you something else in a second. But there is that. And where you can look at all your content is under your account. Click on loans and you can see what's been checked out to you. You also have holds list. You know how I mentioned those books that you might need to wait a little bit longer to get a copy, and a wish list option. So if there are titles that you're interested in reading eventually, maybe if there's a series that you're following, you can add them to a wish list. You can also rate titles in Reads, and you can see the stars option down here, and you can recommend titles. So if there's a book you're looking for that the content isn't there yet, you can go ahead and put in a recommendation here. The state gets that information, as do we in reports. And if it's something that a lot of people are requesting, we'll try to buy based on that. So it's really a great resource. Another place you can use to kind of help exploring the collections in Reads is you can look here by different special collections, different ebook and audiobook categories. There even are some videos in Reads as well. If you're looking, maybe you've run out of things to watch on Netflix and look for something a little different here. But it's a really great resource. I highly recommend checking it out. And so the next step too is that downloading. So you borrow a title and then you download it. And to download it, you need to have apps installed on your devices. So we mentioned Kindle. A lot of you may be familiar with Kindle already. It'll take you out to Amazon. You'll have to be signed into your account and say borrow book and deliver to a specific device that you have connected to your Amazon account. If you don't want to use the Kindle app, which is fine, there are 2 apps you can download related to Reads. The older one, some of you may be familiar with, which is the Overdrive app. And then the other one is a newer app. It's called Libby. And we're going to look at that really quickly. So here's what Libby kind of looks like, is the little face icon here whenever you try to download her. You can get Libby, I think, almost all devices except for the Kindle Fire, I think, at this point. So, or e-readers. You can't download it on e-readers either, I believe, if they're not a full tablet. But so do you have a library card? You can say yes or not yet. So that's going to bring you to that instant digital option as well. So once you've downloaded the Libby app, this is what you'll see. I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, I do have a library card. So I'm going to say, and this I'm going to walk through in terms of me having a full library card at the library. So I'm going to say, search for a library, and I'm going to look by 37604, which is where Johnson City Public is. What you'll see pop up is Tennessee Reads and the Holston River Region Johnson City Public. So I'm going to click on that. Once it comes up here, I'm going to say, choose a location, and then I'll have to pull up Johnson City Public. This is because that Tennessee Reads is, again, the whole state of Tennessee. So it's just having me look for Johnson City, and I went too far. One thing to watch out for on here is Johnson County looks very similar. Once I'm here, I can log in with my library card number. And I'm hoping that I can complete that out. Should just take a second to get logged in. And you just say next. You can add additional cards too to your Libby account, which is really nice. So once you're in Libby, you can search for books again in the library. So there are 2 sides. There's the library side and there's the shelf side. Click on the shelf side. And you can check out your loans, your holds. It gives you some different options. It's really easy to use. I find it very, very easy to use. I'm going to go to loans and open one of the books I've been listening to, and this is what it looks like in the player. So this is an audiobook, and you just click play if there's something. It synchronizes. You can download your ebooks and audiobooks on different devices. So say you use a tablet, but are also in a smartphone, you can switch back and forth between the 2 and just catch up to where you left off on the other device. So it's really very handy. And so I think Libby's a great way to go if you're new to using the Reads content. So that is the website of the week. So thank you all for joining us. This has been Ask a Librarian. If you have any more questions, please send them to me. As I mentioned before, jcpl.org/contact us is the web address for sending in those questions. Just be sure to leave it to general question here. And in your message, it helps me if you say, you can share on Ask a Librarian. And that way I know for sure that you're okay with me sharing it. I will still keep your name private. But, just to know that you're okay with me sharing that. Until next time, I'm Lisa. I'm here to help you. Send me your questions and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.